Hello?
Hey, is this Bozon?
Yes, this is.
Hi, this is Andy and Taylor here from Goldman Sachs. Is it still a good time to have a phone interview?
Yeah, sure. How are you?
We're doing well. How are you doing?
I'm great. It's a nice day today.
Great. So, just to give you a little overview of how we're going to do this, we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
give you some background on us, and then we'll turn the time over to you to kind of introduce yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll go through some questions and leave about 5 minutes at the end for any questions that you have. Does that work?
Yeah, sure.
Great. Like I said, my name is Andy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm originally from out here in Salt Lake. I went to school out here at the University of Utah
Mm-hmm.
and got my degree in finance in 2015 and joined the team in May of 2016. Been on the team for a little over 2 years now. And this is Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
How do you pronounce your name?
You can call me Brian, but it's called Bojan. Yeah, you can call me Brian.
Okay. Okay. Either way, Bozon or Brian. Either way works for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Taylor Swenson. I've been on the team for coming up on 2 years, including my internship. I interned here in the summer of 2016, and then I've been on the team since January of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I also went to the University of Utah, and we're the only two from the University of Utah, but we're interviewing today. And I
Mm-hmm.
did a bachelor's of accounting and also of finance.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's good to talk to you.
Thanks.
I guess the first thing we want to do is we'd love for you to walk us through your resume and kind of point out what experiences you've had and walk us through what you think are the most important parts of your resume, and that'd be awesome.
Okay. So I'm recently graduated from UCLA, and I major in business economics, and I have minor in accounting and statistics. I've done two internships before related to investment banking. One is in Taebang's Equity Advisory Department, and one is in Deloitte's Corporate Finance Advisory Department. I participated into IPO project, and I'm in charge of the due diligence part. And in Deloitte, I have done some valuation tasks, and I have done some data clearance from the Bloomberg Terminal database, and I also assumed some valuation works in the team. I also assumed some translation works in the team. I've also involved in some case competitions during my 4 years school time, which range from like valuation, discounted cash flow analysis, and post LBO financial statement drafting. I think which all broaden my skill sets. I also have multiple hobbies like soccer, guitar playing, and photography, which really enrich my leisure time. So I think that's really a short and really brief introduction of my background. I'm really eager to build a better future here with Goldman Sachs.
Awesome, that sounds great. Maybe you could tell us why you want to get into investment banking specifically, and maybe beyond that, why Goldman Sachs as well.
Yeah, sure. So there are two reasons that I want to do investment banking. The first reason is I found that the due diligence process of investment banking very interesting. So when I worked at Taebang, I participated in a manufacturing company's IPO. So through the due diligence process, I was able to find out how the company can outplay its competitors, what the company's core technology is to have a higher margin in the industry. And in the future at Goldman Sachs, I want to participate in more deals due diligence to know these companies' winning secrets. Also, I want to know some like merger acquisition rationales behind each deals. Today a lot of companies are acquiring other companies. So, for example, Amazon is acquiring Whole Foods to combine its Amazon Fresh with Whole Foods in-store retailings. So I just really want to know why how can company do decide to acquire another one, whether it is because of a synergy, diversification, and how can management board decide which companies to acquire and which sectors to go in. And I want to join Goldman Sachs also for two reasons. First, I think Goldman Sachs is the top investment bank. I've done two internships before in the past. I'm very enthusiastic about investment banking, and I think Goldman Sachs is the best place for me to start my career. Also, I love Goldman Sachs culture very much. I've watched some talk at Goldman Sachs on YouTube channels, and I really appreciate the fact that Goldman Sachs can invite these brilliant people to talk at Goldman Sachs. So if I have a chance to join Goldman Sachs in the future, I really want to attend these events. Listening to these brilliant people talking and using their words as my future career guide. So that's why I'm really passionate about investment banking, and that's why I really want to join Goldman Sachs to start my career.
Awesome. Maybe you could tell us maybe why you would like to leave sunny Los Angeles and come to Salt Lake City.
Oh yeah, sure. So I know the fact that the Goldman Sachs office in Salt Lake City is quickly expanding, and if I have a chance to go to Salt Lake City to participate in Goldman Sachs, I think I can really participate in some very influential deals to sharpen my skills and to broaden my skill sets. Also, I think that Salt Lake City is very easy for me to relocate because I'm in the West Coast, and I also enjoy Salt Lake City's skiing resorts very much, and I think I can enjoy skiing with my friends in the winter. So that's why I believe that I really want to go to Salt Lake City to participate in Goldman Sachs, although I'm in Los Angeles right now.
Just a quick follow-up on that. It looks like besides UCLA, all your internships have been in China.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you plan on staying in the U.S. before maybe? Do you plan on moving back to China for work?
Not right now. I plan to work in the U.S. for I think for about 10 years, and I really want to get a lot of experience here. I want to learn from the top investment banking people in Goldman Sachs, and I want to really develop my career and to grow with my team and to stay with my team here. In the long term, I may choose to go back to China, but it will be my honor if I can still work in Goldman Sachs office in China.
Okay.
Maybe you could just we'll get into some technical type questions now.
Yeah.
How would you value a company? What are the three main ways you would value a company?
I think the three main ways to value a company is discounted cash flow valuation method, and comparable companies valuation method, and past deals valuation method.
Okay. Could you maybe walk us through how you would do a DCF valuation and some of the inputs and how you would calculate those as well?
Yeah, so discounted cash flow analysis is basically estimating the intrinsic value of a company. In order to do the discounted cash flow analysis, I need to predict the company's future cash flow in 5 years, and I need to estimate the terminal value, which is the cash flow the company is going to generate after 5 years. In order to do that, I need to set up a 5-year time frame and have the revenue growth predictions from equity researchers, and do some calculations to finally get the free cash flows in this 5 years. After 5 years, I need to use the Gordon growth model to actually predict the company's cash flow growth, if the company's cash flow growth is going to be stable each year. After I got these data, I may use proper time value factors to discount these free cash flows back to the present, adding them together to get the intrinsic value of the company. So I believe that. Yeah.
No, that's good. What rate are you going to discount this at?
I'm sorry.
What rate are you going to use in your discounted cash flow? How are you going to calculate the rate?
I think the WACC is the rate I'm going to use in the discount cash flow, because I think the WACC is like the average of the company's debt and the equity cost, and by using WACC, I think I can get the discounted cash flow value back to the present.
Perfect. And just two follow-up questions.
Yeah.
Could you tell us how to calculate WACC, and then also could you tell us how to calculate free cash flow?
Yeah. So I think regarding WACC, I think is the debt cost and times the debt to debt plus equity ratio and times one minus tax rate and plus equity cost times the equity to debt plus equity. And also, to calculate free cash flow, I think we have to start from net operating profit after tax, and I want to plus the depreciation and amortization back because this is a non-cash expense. Also, I want to minus capital expenditure and change in net working capitals because these are actually cash expenses. So after doing these calculations, I can finally get the free cash flow, and I can discount these free cash flows back to the present in order to get the company's intrinsic value.
Okay. Okay. When would you want to issue debt rather than issue equity?
Uh,
What would make you make that move?
so I think I want to issue debt because I don't want to lose control of the company. So if I'm going to issue debt, I can still have the whole control of the company. So my share of the company won't change. I just have to pay back a certain interest in a given time frame. And I think that just issuing debt is like easier for the management board to decide because I think a lot of the company's holders may have a concerns that they will lose control of the companies and maybe they don't have if they don't lose the majority shares they can get the company's future. So that's why I think some companies may prefer debt to equity.
Okay. Just to follow up on kind of the financial statements.
Mhm.
If we were, for example, a company that produces a widget and the widget's cost is rising, basically the cost of acquiring this product is rising.
Mhm.
And we used to use FIFO
Mhm.
for cost of goods sold,
Mhm.
but now we're going to switch over to LIFO. How would that affect the three financial statements? Does that make sense?
Yes, it is.
You can go ahead and think about it, and you can walk us through kind of how it would affect the income statement, the balance sheet, and also the statement of cash flows.
So previously we were using FIFO for cost of goods sold, right?
Yes.
Uh,
So the costs are increasing every year.
uh-huh.
We're switching over to LIFO now.
If the cost is increasing each year, and if we are doing like last in first out, I think we will sell the widget that we acquired the most recently, and according to our scenario, the widget is going to be more expensive. So in this way, I think the COGS is going to increase. If the COGS is going to increase, the gross margin, and I believe that the net income will go down. And according to the cash flow statement, if the net income is going to go down, and we may see a decline in cash flow from operating activities. Regarding the balance sheet, since we're doing the last in first out, so we may see a it is actually depending because a company can use different inventory estimation method. They can estimate their inventory at different costs, or they can use like an average method. So I think the effect on the balance sheet is really depending on which inventory method the company is going to use. So that's what I believe are like the effect to three financial statements if we're switching from FIFO to LIFO.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense for the most part. We just like to see your thought process and how you're evaluating questions and kind of how your mind works. It's always good for us to know for problem solving.
Mm-hmm.
What would happen to a company's EPS if they decided to issue debt in order to buy back shares?
If our company is going to buy back shares, I think the shares outstanding in the market will be decreasing. So in this way, I believe that the earning per shares for a company is going to increase because the shares that is liquid on the market is going to decline.
Okay. Maybe you could tell us about some deals or anything that you've been kind of following in the news and why that kind of interested you.
Yeah, sure. So I think a deal I've been following recently is Disney's acquisition of 21st Century Fox. I find this deal interesting because like right now Disney is going through a bid war with Comcast, and Disney has raised its bid to 71 billion. So this deal is interesting because Disney is targeting a company that is not for sale, which reflects 21st Century Fox's trust of Disney to expand its business. So I think with good resources from 21st Century Fox, Disney is able to film its previous animations and to target huge potential profits on the silver screen. So that is the deal I'm following recently, and that's why I found it like really interesting to me.
Okay. So just a quick question, kind of more on team building and team activity. Did you work with teams with your previous internships, investment banking, or was it a small group, or what was that?
I haven't worked in a team in Deloitte. It is not a big team. It's about like five and six people. But I think we have like a really productive teamwork environment. I'm assuming like data clearance, evaluations, and translation works there, and I think I will first provide them with translation works at once to make sure that everyone is on the same page with our clients, and I will also support them with the evaluation and the data from the database at once if they're requesting it. Also, I can boost their morals when my whole team is down. Like when the project is not going through really well, I will like order some really delicious food for my team in lunch, and I will really cheer up the team by talking with them, telling some jokes, and we have a really productive and really relaxing team working atmosphere. So I think that's my team working experience at Deloitte, and I think that the experience is like really productive.
Perfect. Could you describe, a time when you did not agree with one of your coworkers based on, how he wanted to do a project, and you thought there was a more efficient way, and what you did to kind of resolve that in an efficient manner?
I think there is a time that at Taeban Securities when we're discussing about the labor force ratio, whether we are going to have some more contracted worker, or whether we're going to have some more dispatch workers. So I have a disagreement with my coworkers because he thought that having more dispatch workers will lower the cost, but I noticed to him that the Chinese regulation department did not allow a company to have those much dispatch workers, and I just showed him a lot of former prospectus of similar companies to convince him that these companies are having a really low ratio of labor dispatched. I also showed him like according regulations on Chinese like security regulation website to further convince him that I'm actually saying the right thing about labor dispatching. Although that is not a strict rule, I believe that it will significantly influence if the prospectus is going to pass the inspection or not, because in China the inspection is like really strict compared to United States. So he is finally convinced, and we reached an agreement to cut the labor dispatch rate and to have more contracted labors for the corporation, and we finally gave the advice to the corporation. So that's what I think how I solved this conflicts with my coworkers, and we finally reached a great agreement, and I think we really pushed the whole process forward for a big step.
Thank you. That's perfect.
Thanks.
From here, maybe you could just, tell us something fun about yourself. What do you like to do? I mean, what's your favorite movie? Just tell us just something fun about you and something about the real Brian.
Yeah, sure. So I would really like to share about that. So are you interested in photography?
A little bit.
Yeah, I'm interested in photography.
Yeah, I would really talk something about photography. Photography is actually very interesting. So I'm previously a smartphone photographer, and recently I started to play with a digital single lens camera and to start to master those shutter speed and aperture, ISO, and using different lenses to film people and to film like the scenarios. Like I came to Yellowstone Park last month, and I filmed a lot of pictures about the Yellowstone Park, and I found like photography is really interesting because you are a master of what you are seeing, like with different angles and with different index you can create feelings, like very eminent feelings, like very warm feelings, very cute feelings also. So I think when doing photographies and when editing pictures in the computer, I really get a lot of fun out of that, and also I can share these pictures with a lot of my friends that are also interested in photography. So I think I really made a lot of friends out of that hobby. So,
What kind of camera do you use?
I use a Nikon camera, but I think a lot of people are preferring Canon or Sony. So Nikon camera is like old school one, but I think those cameras is good for beginners actually.
Now, what's your favorite? Where's the favorite place you've taken? Your favorite shot.
I think the place I took my favorite shot is in Puerto Rico. Like in Puerto Rico, there are a lot of seas. There are a lot of animals like lizards, and there are a lot of castles in Puerto Rico. And I really love shooting people around, and people on Puerto Rico, they're having a really relaxing styles compared to us living in big cities. They usually talk to each other when reaching afternoons, smoking one cigarette or two, enjoying pizzas, or just go out surfing. So I actually take a lot of pictures at Puerto Rico regarding different peoples, and I'm really eager to share those pictures with you. Although I don't have a screen right now. Yeah, I really enjoy those experiences.
Yeah, we wish we could see your pictures too. That sounds fun.
Yes.
Just a last question. You said that you're authorized to work for any employee in the U.S. without sponsorship. What does that mean?
That means that right now the scenario is like this. I think my I-45, so it's like authorization for a green card is already in process. and I think I can get a green card within 1 year. So in this 1 year period, I have a 1 year OPT to cover this time frame. So I think my visa status will not be a problem when I join Goldman Sachs because I can cover the previous part with OPT, and the latter part I can get a green card, and as soon as I got green card, I don't have to do any like sponsorships, and I can work for Goldman Sachs. Yeah.
Okay. So you said you're about 1 year out from a green card.
Yeah, I'm about 1 year out from green card, and in this 1 year I can cover the working status with OPT, which is also a legal document authorized by the government to work in the U.S. without any H-1B sponsorship.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, that's all the questions we have for you. We'll give you this last couple minutes here to go ahead and ask any questions that you might have for us.
Yeah, sure. So I'm really interested in that. So I know the Salt Lake City office is quickly expanding. So I'm really interested about the fact that is there any specific industry the Salt Lake City office is focusing on, or it is doing like comprehensively, like in almost every industry.
So Salt Lake City has almost every industry covered, and they also have generalist groups as well that cover all industries.
Mm-hmm.
For example, we're a member of DRG, which is Data Resources Group, and we work with all bankers all over the world to cover all industries.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the unique privilege of working with all industries.
Mm-hmm.
And then also there are many groups that we can also transition into if we're interested in a specific industry as well.
Yeah, that's really answered my question. Thanks.
Any other questions you have for us?
Not for now, and I'm really hoping that I can hear from Salt Lake City's office soon to go into the next step of the interviewing process. And really thank you for your time today to interview me, and hope that we can keep in touch soon and I can show you the pictures.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we appreciate you taking the time to get on the phone with us today. Someone from HCM will be in touch with you within the next few days or so. I'm not sure exactly how long it will take them, but they should be in contact with whatever next steps we decide to take with you.
Mm-hmm. Thanks a lot.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.